Beloved souls of Earth, I am Zørrion of Sirius, speaking as part of the Sirian High Council. You are entering a profound zero point of balance as this equinox arrives, one of those rare moments when day and night share the sky equally across your world, reflecting an inner call to harmonize the light and shadow within you. In this cosmic pause between inhalation and exhalation of Earth's breath, time itself seems to hold still for just an instant. This rare still point is not empty. It is full of potential, a pregnant silence in which every new trajectory becomes possible. Feel into it. The usual push and pull of life recedes. The pendulum of extremes briefly stops mid-swing, inviting you to step off old tracks. In the hush of this equilibrium, you are offered a chance to reset your course consciously. All the momentum of past cycles pauses, so you may choose anew from a place of clarity. At the 0 point, nothing is pulling you off center. You can hear your own soul's whisper more loudly than the world's noise. Allow yourself to bask in this suspension of opposites where your next intention can be planted in fertile stillness. This is a gift rarely experienced, a cosmic recalibration where you can balance your own inner day and night. As the planet finds poise, you too can find poise within, aligning heart and mind without the usual distractions. In this moment of equipoise, feel the universe quietly reorienting around your new choice. Even the slightest sincere intention set in this silence can ripple out and alter lifetimes. You stand at the threshold of a deliberate reset, breathe gently, and recognize that you are not bound by your past momentum. Here, in the equinox balance, you hold the pen to write the next chapter of your life from a place of total presence. Embrace this pause as a sanctuary where you can realign with your highest path before the cosmic wheel turns onward. Layered over this equinox stillness is the potent charge of a partial solar eclipse aligning with the new moon, acting as a cosmic amplifier for whatever still lies in your shadow. If equinox is the pause, the eclipse is the surge of energy that flushes out what's hidden in that quiet. In the dimming of the sun's light by the moon, your own subconscious is illuminated. Old agreements, hidden soul contracts, and long-buried beliefs are stirred from their hiding places. You may find yourself confronted with echoes of past fears or limiting stories you thought you had left behind. This is purposeful. The eclipse is bringing up these remnants not to distress you, but to set you free by making the unconscious conscious. Take note of any strong emotions or recurring thoughts surfacing now, for they point directly to the untruths still lodged in your field. Perhaps it is a belief that you are unworthy of love, or a fear that you must always live in survival mode. Perhaps an old loyalty to suffering or a vow of silence about your true feelings. The eclipse energy asks you, with stark honesty, what untruth are you still allowing to enslave your energy? Observe whatever arises without judgment, for awareness is the first step of liberation. In this magnified mirror, you have the chance to finally witness the shadowy programs that have quietly influenced you. Once seen in the light of your awareness, their power diminishes. Though it may feel intense or disorienting to face these parts of yourself, know that the universe reveals them now not to overwhelm you, but to empower you to break those chains at last. Use this eclipse moment to bravely question every narrative that feels dissonant or heavy. You are fully supported by the cosmic forces to revoke any contracts or beliefs that do not honor your sovereignty. As you acknowledge and release these shadows, you make space to realign with your true essence unchained. For many lifetimes and millennia, humanity has been cycling through an existence defined by a subtle but pervasive slave program. This program is not about physical chains. It operates through consciousness. Souls are born under a veil of amnesia, forgetting their divine origin and true limitless nature. In that forgetfulness, humans have tended to hand over their power to external authorities, be they rulers, institutions, or belief systems, and to the tyranny of their own fears. Generation after generation, the collective has consented, often unknowingly, to being led by the few and boxed in by limiting narratives about what is possible. It has felt normal because it's all most ever knew, like a cage one is born into and thus does not question. But now, in this extraordinary synergy of equinox and eclipse energies, the contours of that cage are becoming starkly visible. You may notice startling clarity about societal patterns or even your own habits of compliance and concession. The program is exposed under this cosmic light. You begin to realize that the bars were never truly locked, that collectively and individually you agreed to stay small, stay fearful, stay divided. Awareness of this is powerful. You stand at the threshold where you can revoke that old agreement of powerlessness. No system, no ruler, no fear can truly command you without your energetic consent. Take a moment to feel that truth in your bones. You are a sovereign being, always have been. This window in time invites you to step outside of the old program entirely, as if waking from a long dream. As you reclaim your free will and inner authority, the slave matrix loses its grip. The equinox eclipse corridor is your opportunity to break the spell of ages by remembering source within and living from that remembrance. With this realization, you begin to dismantle the ancient program from the inside out, freeing not only yourself but contributing to humanity's liberation as well. Understand that ignorance, in the spiritual sense, is not a sin or moral failing. It is simply a state of not seeing things as they truly are, a veil over perception. It begins as a tiny seed of misunderstanding, the belief that you are separate from the whole, incomplete on your own, and dependent on external sources for what you lack. This single false premise gives rise to a tangle of fears and illusions. The equinox's leveling light now shines directly upon that original seed of ignorance in each of us. In this balanced illumination, you might catch a clear glimpse of how this sense of separation has colored your choices and experiences. You may realize that feelings of unworthiness or loneliness stem from that core illusion of disconnection. With this realization comes a pivotal choice point. Will you continue in the comfortable familiarity of that ignorance, or will you embrace remembrance of the truth? Remembrance means re-knowing that you are a facet of Source itself, inherently whole, eternally connected, and sovereign. Choosing remembrance dispels the darkness at the root, allowing clarity and unity to grow in its place. Be aware that whatever you choose in this window will tend to lock in the trajectory of your next cycle of experience. The energies now are like wet cement. Soon they will set, preserving the patterns you affirm through your attitude and focus. If you choose to cling to the old belief of separateness, even unconsciously, you may find the next chapter simply brings more experiences that validate that isolation. But if you choose to relinquish the veil and step into the light of knowing your divine connectedness, you set in motion a cycle of growth and freedom that will carry you forward. The equinox is holding up a mirror to that seed within. See it clearly and choose wisely, for this moment will echo through the coming months and beyond. In the equilibrium of this equinox eclipse window, a profound harmonization of polarities within you is underway. As the outer world balances light and dark, your inner world is invited to balance its own dual aspects, the active and the receptive, the masculine and the feminine energies, the logical mind and the intuitive heart. Old Earth's paradigm of spiritual slavery thrived on keeping these parts of you divided and in conflict. Society encouraged constant doing with little being, praised intellect while dismissing the wisdom of feeling, distorted masculine dominance and suppressed the feminine gifts. These imbalances kept you off-center and easier to control, always chasing completion in one extreme or the other. But now you are remembering that true wholeness comes from integration, not extremism. In this moment of cosmic harmony, you have the support to reconcile those inner polar opposites and let them complement each other. Allow yourself to be both soft and strong, to think and feel in equal measure, to act and also to rest. When you hold both poles in conscious awareness, they stop battling and start cooperating, generating a state of coherence in your being. Coherence is a stable, clear vibration, a unified field within you that is far harder to shake or manipulate. In this balanced state, you become a living embodiment of new earth freedom, no longer swinging wildly between excess and deprivation or control and chaos. You find a middle way that honors the full spectrum of who you are. This is the sacred inner marriage that the ancients spoke of, the union of sun and moon within, yielding a radiant and sovereign self. As you anchor this harmony, you'll notice old external pressures losing their hold on you. The more balanced you are internally, the less the divisiveness of the old paradigm can sway you. In the coherence of integrated polarities, you step into a new level of liberty that comes from being whole, centered, and fully yourself. The choices and intentions you set now act like subtle adjustments to your cosmic navigation system. In these potent days, even a tiny course correction can send you on a vastly new trajectory over time. Think of a ship at sea. Shift its rudder by only a few degrees, and after a long voyage it arrives on an entirely different shore. So it is with your life path in this equinox eclipse window. A mere 5% increase in your daily coherence, perhaps a bit more mindfulness in your routine, a little more alignment between your actions and your heart, will ripple outward into the coming months, creating outcomes far beyond what that small effort might suggest. The same goes for adding just a little more honesty in your self-reflection or interactions, or a touch more devotion to what you know is sacred and true for you. These seemingly minor upgrades act like seeds planted in ultra-fertile soil right now. Over the next 6 months and beyond, they will grow into transformational changes and newfound freedom for your future self. Do not underestimate the power of these micro-shifts. In the old energy, grand gestures and dramatic leaps were often needed to break free because the inertia was so heavy. But in the new energy, the field is so supportive that gentle nudges create big momentum. Every incremental improvement you commit to, a slightly deeper breath when you're stressed, a moment of gratitude each morning, one more act of kindness in your week, anchors a timeline of liberation that your future self will walk upon. So ask yourself, what is one small adjustment I can make toward greater integrity and harmony right now? Implement it with sincerity and trust that the cosmic currents will amplify it. Through these tiny course corrections made in this powerful window, you set yourself on an accelerated path to personal freedom and fulfillment. Consider this moment a checkpoint in your journey since the great collective reset of 2020. Over the past few years, humanity was shaken awake in various ways, and you have been gradually recalibrating your life and consciousness. Now the equinox eclipse is here to offer an honest progress report. How coherent is your personal energy field today? In other words, do your thoughts, emotions, and actions generally resonate in harmony, or are they often in conflict and turbulence? How transparent and clear is your vibration? Are you living in integrity, allowing your true self to be seen, or do you still hide behind masks and old defenses? Perhaps most telling of all, are you broadcasting the frequency of unity, or are you inadvertently still feeding energies of division? The answers become evident now. This cosmic window tends to draw back the curtain on your energetic state with precision. You might notice life mirroring your inner field. For instance, if you have cultivated internal peace and oneness, you may find the world around you responding with surprising grace and cooperation. If you still carry unresolved discord, you may find yourself triggered by events or encountering conflict that points to what needs balancing. There is no judgment in this revelation, only clarity. Treat whatever you learn about your current state as valuable feedback. If you discover that traces of separation or fear still linger in your outlook, this is your opportunity to address them with compassion. And if you find that you have indeed become more centered, open-hearted, and unified since 2020, take a moment to acknowledge that achievement. The equinox eclipse is effectively holding up a mirror so you can see how far you've come and where you can continue to refine. Embrace this checkpoint as a gift of self-awareness, allowing it to guide your next steps toward even greater coherence and unity. Recognize that the sun you see in your sky is not just a ball of hot gas. It is a living, wise consciousness that is in constant communication with life on Earth. In the special alignment of an equinox coupled with a solar eclipse, the sun's energetic current has a direct pathway into the human heart field. If you tune in, you may sense it as a gentle warmth or a golden radiance in your chest, an invitation to open and receive. In these days, you might find that feelings of joy, gratitude, and courageous love arise more readily in you, almost as if sunbeams were lighting you up from the inside. This is no accident. It is solar support for your awakening. Embrace these elevated emotions wholeheartedly. Far from being an indulgence, they are part of your spiritual duty at this time. Why duty? Because your personal joy and open-heartedness do not remain confined to you. They ripple outward through the collective like stabilizing waves. Think of humanity as sharing one vast nervous system on the subtle energy level. When you sustain genuine gratitude or joyful peace in your heart, you send a calming, harmonizing signal into that network. At a time when many are anxious or lost in shadow, your lightness of being becomes a beacon and a balm. Do not underestimate the effect of one smiling, radiant heart. It can uplift 1,000 heavy hearts in ways unseen. So allow the sun's codes to infuse you with optimism and bravery now. If you feel an upwelling of happiness for no reason, trust that impulse. It is a gift to be shared. By anchoring joy and love during this equinox eclipse window, you help steady the collective through its transformation. In this way, following what makes your spirit genuinely glad is a form of cosmic service, a conscious contribution to humanity's well-being orchestrated by your sun and your soul together. Feel the subtle yet profound shift in your sense of identity during this passage. The very scaffolding that once held up your persona, the titles you carried, the roles you played, the routines that structured your days, is loosening now. You might notice that labels and accomplishments you once clung to or derived self-worth from suddenly feel less gripping. Old routines may unravel or no longer satisfy. This can be disorienting, but it is a sacred unmaking of false constructs to make space for what is more true. Your soul is nudging you to strip down to essences, to prioritize what genuinely matters to your heart and simplify the rest. Perhaps you feel compelled to spend more time in nature or with loved ones, and less time chasing external approval. You might be drawn to create, to serve, or to rest in ways that honor your natural rhythm rather than the imposed schedules of the old paradigm. Trust these inclinations. What is happening is a realignment of your personal axis. The true north of your being is coming back into focus. As you allow outdated identities and obligations to fall away, you become more attuned to the guidance of your inner self. This isn't just personal, it's how the new earth is recoding itself through each of us. Every individual who courageously steps off the hamster wheel of old expectations and finds their authentic pace contributes to the collective shift. You are literally letting a new pattern of life take root by living it. So if you feel prompted to change course, to leave a profession that stifles your spirit, to rearrange your daily life to include more creativity or stillness, to redefine what success means to you, know that these urges are aligned with the greater transformation underway. Embrace the simplification and reordering. In trusting your soul's true rhythm, you become an instrument through which higher order and harmony can manifest in the world. The dissolving of the old you is the emergence of the true you, and with it, the blueprint of a freer earth gains clarity. In the still, balanced field of the equinox, the multiple possible timelines of our collective future come very close, almost overlapping in vibration. In this state, the influence of the extreme fear-based timelines begins to wane. Think of it as the background noise of chaos being dampened on the planetary grid. The signal of love and unity can ring through more clearly. This creates a golden opportunity for you to step firmly onto a higher, more harmonious timeline. Right now, you are supported in tuning your being to the frequency of unity, choosing service, clarity, and peace as the qualities you live by and emanate. When you make that choice with conviction, you effectively align yourself with a reality track where those qualities predominate. In practical terms, it might mean that situations based in fear or conflict begin to fall away from your experience, while opportunities to collaborate, heal, and create in love become more frequent. Do not underestimate how powerful your personal frequency choice is at this juncture. The collective field is unusually receptive. It will amplify what you broadcast. If you hold on to fear, anger, or separation, you may find those reflected back to you quickly. But if you hold steady in compassion, integrity, and calm, the grid will likewise echo those back and magnetize matching experiences. This convergence window is like a crossroads where you can consciously pick which road to travel henceforth. By choosing the path of unity consciousness, serving the greater good, seeking truth and understanding, cultivating inner peace, you help solidify that timeline not just for yourself, but for the whole. The equinox eclipse energies support this choice by muting the allure of the lower paths and highlighting the resonance of the higher path. Take a moment in stillness to feel which timeline your heart truly wants to explore and boldly commit to it with your energy. In doing so, you step into the new earth reality where love, cooperation, and peace guide the way forward. There is multiplied power in the unified efforts of awakened souls, and this equinox eclipse window accentuates that synergy. When you come together in coherence with other star seeds and light-focused beings, whether sitting in the same room or connecting across the globe in meditation, the effect on the planetary field is exponential. Imagine individual points of light suddenly linking up. Their brightness doesn't just add together, it multiplies manyfold. This is what happens when hearts and minds sync in a shared intention now. A group of you entering genuine stillness or voicing a unified decree of peace can send shock waves of harmony through the collective consciousness at unprecedented speed. In these moments, the Earth's energy grid responds like a crystal, resonating with a pure tone, lighting up in response to your joint clarity. Understand that your personal spiritual practice is indeed powerful. As a single focused soul, you can transform your own reality and influence the field around you. Yet, when you join forces with others, even subtly, it becomes catalytic on a much grander scale. One person holding calm can soothe a room. 10 people holding calm can steady a city. Hundreds or thousands joining in prayer or meditation can genuinely shift trajectories for the planet. During this window, such gatherings, even if they are informal or purely energetic, carry extra charge. You may feel an innate pull to connect with soul family, to meditate at the same hour as others, or to participate in global intentions for healing and unity. Honor those impulses. By linking up with others in coherence, you create a resonant field that not only amplifies your intentions, but also provides a kind of energetic safe zone that others can subconsciously tune into. Together, you literally brighten the grid, making it easier for many more to awaken and stabilize. The message is clear. Continue your individual inner work, but whenever possible, embrace opportunities for collective practice. For in unity, your light is magnified beyond measure. The world's dramas have a way of knocking on your door, especially in these times of rapid change. The relentless news cycle, reports of tragedies, conflicts, and turbulence in the collective. They all present a test of your energetic mastery. When confronted with these external storms, you face a pivotal choice. Will you react blindly, letting the flood of chaotic information and fear drag you into anxiety or anger? Will you consume every bit of media frenzy and inadvertently amplify the division and panic by echoing it outward in your thoughts and conversations? That is one path, but it is the path of losing oneself to the external, essentially handing over your inner stability to the chaos, a form of remaining enslaved to the collective emotional roller coaster. The alternative is the path of sovereignty and coherence. This means choosing to remain centered and discerning with what you allow into your mind and field. You can stay informed, but you do not need to saturate yourself in negativity or react impulsively. You can reduce the input of sensationalist noise and instead increase the output of calm, prayerful intention. In practice, when you hear of something tragic or unsettling, take a breath and feel your heart before responding. Rather than joining the chorus of outrage or fear, you might silently offer love or envision a better outcome. You become a transmitter of stability amidst the chaos. This is not about ignoring the world's problems. It's about addressing them from a higher frequency of clarity and compassion rather than from panic. Every time you choose to hold coherence instead of reaction, you exercise your sovereignty. You prove that your state of being is your choice, not a knee-jerk reaction dictated by external events. In doing so, you also subtly influence others. Your calm becomes contagious. This indeed is the slavery program versus the freedom of self-mastery playing out in real time. With each situation that arises, you have the power to decide, will I be a pawn of chaos or an anchor of peace? Choosing the latter consistently is what frees you and inspires others to find that freedom too. The path to transformation doesn't necessarily require grand gestures. In truth, It is often the steady accumulation of modest refinements that yields the most profound shifts. Consider the power of a mere 5% improvement applied consistently to different facets of your life. If you bring just a bit more presence into each breath, pausing to truly inhabit your body and the moment, you gradually retrain your nervous system toward peace. If you infuse even slightly more honesty and kindness into your speech, choosing truthful, constructive words where you might have once stayed silent or glossed over your truth, you steadily purify your relationships and environment. If you approach your moments of prayer, meditation, or intention setting with just a touch more sincerity and focused heart, you amplify their effectiveness many-fold. These micro upgrades might seem negligible on their own, but they are cumulative and synergistic. Over days and weeks, a 5% refinement repeated again and again compounds into a radically different vibration for you. This is often called the math of the new earth, where the linear rules of cause and effect give way to a more exponential dynamic. Small, high-quality inputs create unexpectedly large outcomes. It's as if the universe rewards each authentic improvement with interest. By incrementally raising the baseline of your thoughts, words, and actions, you set off ripple effects that extend far beyond what you can immediately see. You might notice that a little more patience each day leads to significantly fewer conflicts over time, or that a bit more gratitude leads to a cascade of blessings. Trust in this subtle process. It relieves the pressure of feeling you must overhaul your life overnight. Instead, you can commit to gentle, ongoing refinement. With consistency, these micro changes gather momentum and eventually manifest as macro shifts, not only elevating your own life, but also adding to the collective upliftment. Every time you choose a small improvement out of love and integrity, you participate in a quiet revolution of consciousness where the ordinary becomes the extraordinary. True service to the whole is often far more simple and subtle than people imagine. It is not always about grand charity projects or lifelong vocations, though those can be beautiful too. It begins in the quiet, modest acts of love you weave into your day. For instance, when you prepare or receive a meal, you might pause for a brief moment of gratitude or blessing over the food. In doing so, you infuse that ordinary act of nourishment with light, and that light travels outward in ways unseen, perhaps calming your own body and mood, which in turn affects those you meet afterward, and so on. When you walk through your neighborhood, a simple, loving thought for the well-being of your community, or a friendly hello to a stranger sets off a tiny current of positivity that can ripple beyond your knowing. Even when you scroll through your social media feed, instead of falling into envy or judgment, you can silently wish others well or share an uplifting thought. These are small, almost invisible services, little currents of light that radiate beyond your immediate sight. Yet, within the quantum connectedness of all things, every spark you offer finds its way to somewhere it's needed. In the old paradigm, the slave planet mindset, service was often equated with coerced labor or self-sacrifice, something grudgingly done out of obligation or imposed by others. Many carried subconscious resentment or fatigue around the idea of serving. But in the New Earth frequency, true service is not drudgery. It is a natural radiation of the light you are cultivating within. As you fill your own cup with spiritual nourishment and balance, that fullness overflows effortlessly to bless your surroundings. You serve not because you have to, but because it is as natural as the sun shining or a flower offering its fragrance. This reframing allows you to find joy in simple acts of kindness, recognizing them as significant contributions. Trust that every gentle blessing and kind intention you send forth, no matter how small, is felt in the grand tapestry of creation, and helps light the path for all. In this way, your life itself becomes a quiet beacon of service through the everyday grace you share. In the grand balancing act of a world in transition, joy is far from a frivolous luxury. It is a critical stabilizer of energy. Picture the collective human field as a vast network that can sometimes grow heavy with sorrow, stress, and uncertainty, what we refer to as density. If too much weight accumulates without relief, there is a risk of the grid sagging or even fracturing under the pressure. Your authentic joy is like a ray of stabilizing sunlight breaking through dense clouds, preventing that collapse. It infuses levity, hope, and resilience into the shared psychic atmosphere that all beings unconsciously breathe. This is why we say joy is not optional for those walking the path of awakening. It is akin to a sacred responsibility. When you laugh from your belly or smile from your heart, when you engage in something that genuinely uplifts your spirit, be it creativity, play, appreciation of nature, or loved ones, you are doing energy work for the planet. In those moments, you anchor a frequency of lightness that counterbalances a great deal of collective heaviness. You never know how many souls might be indirectly buoyed up by the vibration you emit when you are happy. Your joy today might literally be the anchor that steadies thousands who are on the brink of despair, even though you may never meet them. It's all connected behind the scenes. So give yourself permission to seek and cultivate joy, especially during challenging times. Dismiss the thought that it's selfish or naive to be joyful when there is suffering in the world. On the contrary, a bright spirit in dark times is one of the greatest gifts you can offer. By keeping your own flame of joy alight, you serve as a lighthouse in the fog. Others, consciously or not, find their way by the subtle assurance that light and happiness are still present among us. In this way, maintaining your joy is part of your service and mission, an essential ingredient in the alchemy of global healing. To amplify the equinox energies within you, you might devote about 15 minutes to a simple alignment ritual that bridges your heart with the cosmos and the earth. Begin by finding a quiet space where you can be undisturbed. Sit comfortably, close your eyes, and bring your attention into the center of your chest. Take slow, deep breaths into your heart space, inhaling peace and exhaling any tension. With each breath, feel yourself arriving fully into the present moment. This is the heart breath arrival, a gentle landing into your own sacred center. Now, visualize a warm golden light glowing in your heart. On your next inhale, imagine that a beam of this golden light extends upward from your heart, moving through the sky and connecting to the sun above. You are creating a solar heart link, a two-way flow of energy. Feel the sun's life-giving, loving consciousness travel down that golden cord into your heart, filling you with radiance. As you exhale, you can send your gratitude and love up the cord to the sun. Bask in this exchange for a few breaths, knowing you are in communion with a great cosmic ally. Next, speak a unity decree aloud, or firmly in your mind if you prefer. This could be simple yet powerful, such as, I am one with all that is. I anchor unity and love now. Choose words that resonate deeply and declare them with conviction. Feel the truth of that statement resonating in your being. This is more than words. It's an energy you are choosing to embody and broadcast. Now shift your focus to the entire planet. From your heart, send out a blessing to the earth and all life upon it. Whatever arises naturally, be it a wave of love, a vision of healing light enveloping the globe, or a prayer for peace and well-being for all creatures. Know that intention travels, your heartfelt blessing is received where it is needed most. This is your planetary blessing, a gift from your heart to the world. Finally, perform the Earth Seal. Envision all the light and intentions generated in this ritual soaking into the earth like gentle rain. See it travel into the soil, into the waters, and down to the very core of Gaia. You might imagine the Earth's crystalline grid lighting up, or a golden hue spreading across the land as your energy integrates with the planetary field. Take a final deep breath, feeling yourself grounded and connected. Human feet on the earth, radiant heart linked to the sun, spirit in unity with all. Give thanks in your own way for this alignment. Though this practice is brief, its echoes extend far beyond these minutes in linear time. You have harmonized with the equinox and eclipse energies, and the coherence you've cultivated will ripple through the timelines, anchoring higher possibilities with grace. When you are ready, open your eyes and carry that centered, connected energy with you into whatever comes next. After the peak of these cosmic alignments, you enter a sacred integration window, roughly the next 72 hours, where the shifts you've invited need to settle into your being. Think of it like updating your inner software. After the download, the system needs some time to install and save the new codes. During these few days, it's important to be gentle and supportive of yourself. Hydrate abundantly, as water helps conduct the energy through your physical body and flush out what no longer serves. Simplify your schedule if you can. Give yourself permission to rest, sleep, or spend time in quiet reflection. Avoid jumping immediately into high-stress or dense environments if possible. This isn't about hiding from life, but about giving your system the bandwidth to assimilate higher frequencies without unnecessary distraction or drain. As part of this integration, you might feel naturally drawn to tie up a loose end or bring closure to something that's been nagging at your heart. In particular, consider having one brave conversation where truth replaces avoidance. Perhaps there's a relationship in your life where certain feelings or truths have been left unspoken, creating tension. With compassion and clarity, initiate that dialogue. Speak the truth you've been holding back, not with blame or drama, but with the intent to replace confusion with honesty. You'll find that such heart clearings can profoundly liberate stuck energy, both for you and the other person. It aligns your external life with the internal shifts you're undergoing, making for a more seamless transformation. Another powerful gesture in this window is to consciously release something from your life to create space for the new. This could be literal, like giving away an item that carries old energy, cleaning a cluttered corner, or donating clothes you no longer need, as a symbolic act of trust that you will be provided for. It might also be more internal, deciding to let go of a certain habit, grudge, or belief that you recognize as a remnant of your old cycle. Even a small act of letting go sends a strong message to your subconscious and the universe that you are ready for the next octave of your journey, unencumbered by yesterday's weight. During these 72 hours, above all, listen to your body and inner guidance. Some may feel highly energized and creative, others may need deep rest and solitude. There is no wrong way to integrate except to ignore your needs. By honoring this assimilation phase, you ensure that the new energies and insights find a firm footing in your daily life. In doing so, you'll emerge on the other side of this window feeling more clear, aligned, and prepared to step forward on your path at a new vibration. Know that you do not journey through this powerful window unnoticed. In fact, the progress of humanity at this juncture is being lovingly observed by many higher-order beings and intelligences. Galactic councils, ascended masters, angelic guardians, and interdimensional allies are all attentively taking the pulse of Earth's collective vibration as it rises. They are not watching in order to judge or intervene harshly, far from it. Their role is akin to gardeners tending a growing forest, checking to see how the saplings, in this case human consciousness, are coming along and what they might need to flourish further. Your personal and collective maturation signals to them how much more support, guidance, and advanced energy can be safely and helpfully offered to humanity. In the cosmic plan, there are certain thresholds of readiness that a civilization must reach before greater contact or assistance is appropriate. These benevolent beings operate under laws of non-interference and compassion. They will not overwhelm humanity with more than it can integrate, nor will they step in to save you in a way that disempowers your own growth. Instead, they calibrate their support to match your sovereign progress. This equinox eclipse window serves as one of those significant assessment moments, a calibration point. The choices people make in this period, the stability and unity that lightworkers and everyday souls alike are able to hold, all contribute to a measurable shift in the collective frequency. That data, so to speak, is received by these higher helpers and informs the next phase of our partnership with them. Take heart in knowing that your efforts to raise your consciousness and embody love truly matter on a scale much larger than you may imagine. Every time you choose peace over conflict or courage over fear, it not only uplifts those around you, but also effectively signals to the cosmos, we are growing, we are awakening, we are ready for more. And the cosmos responds in kind. So if you sense an unseen presence or encouragement during meditation or in moments of grace, you are likely perceiving this network of support, applauding your progress. They stand by, ready to amplify your efforts as soon as you demonstrate sustained alignment. In this way, the transformation you undergo in these potent days is a co-creative process with the divine and galactic realms. You rise, they step in closer. You stabilize, they offer more. Feel the encouragement in that arrangement. You are not alone in the climb. This window is an opportunity to show, through your actions and vibration, that humanity is moving into its next level of responsibility and unity. As you do, the higher orders joyfully adjust their assistance, opening new doors of inspiration, protection, and knowledge to meet you. Together, a new chapter of interdimensional cooperation is being written, one choice at a time. Amid all this talk of liberation and transformation, remember that none of it is happening by accident, and neither is your presence here. You incarnated on Earth, entering into the very density and slave grid we've been describing for a profoundly important purpose. In the higher realms before this life, you knew the challenges of this planet. You understood that being born under the veil of forgetfulness, feeling the oppression of limiting systems and pervasive fear, would be part of the experience. And yet, you volunteered, even eagerly, to come. Why? Because you carry within you the antidote to the illusion, the light of remembrance. You came to dissolve the program from within by awakening yourself and then becoming a living example and beacon for others. Think of it. By waking up within the dream of separation, you generate a frequency that makes it easier for the next person to wake up, and the next. It's like you agreed to enter a maze, not only to find your way out, but to then turn around and show the way, or hold the door for everyone still wandering. That is the essence of the path of the Bodhisattva, or the Lightworker. To remember who you are, and hold that remembrance so steady that it creates a ripple of freedom in the collective. Now the time has come to put into practice what you came here to do. This equinox eclipse moment is a key part of your soul's chosen mission. It is a proving ground, a real-time test of whether you can maintain your centered heart and higher perspective amid turmoil. The energy on the planet is swirling, old structures are cracking, many people are fearful or reactive. But you, dear one, are here to be the calm in that storm, the eye of peace and love that remains stable when everything else shakes. Can you hold the frequency of trust, compassion, and unity in the face of uncertainty? Can you radiate peace even as the winds of change blow fiercely around you? We believe you can, and in truth, you have been training for this across lifetimes. Every challenge you faced, every loss or dark night of the soul you endured and learned from, has forged within you the strength and clarity to stand firm now. This is the juncture where you get to apply all that inner work, and know that by doing so, by simply holding a calm, loving vibration in chaotic times, you are fulfilling your purpose in ways more significant than you may realize. People near and far will subconsciously feel that steadiness and be inspired to find their own center. The grids of control are dissolved not through fight or resistance, but through mass disengagement and rising above them. By standing in the truth of your being, by remembering love when others forget, you help to dismantle the old matrix and usher in the new. This is why you came, and this is your moment. Embrace it with the confidence that you are exactly where and who you need to be to serve the light's plan. Your soul is rooting you on, as are we, and all it asks is that you trust yourself and shine, especially when it's hardest, for that is when it counts the most. As you move forward from this gateway, take with you a simple but potent tool, a mantra of liberation to reinforce your sovereignty and alignment. Use it whenever you feel your energy waver, or whenever you wish to consciously tune yourself to the new earth frequency. This mantra acts like a tuning fork, resetting your field to truth. Carry this decree in your heart as your personal compass as reality shifts around you. I trust divine timing. I am a steady son of peace. Only love has authority here. These are not just pretty words. They are a profound statement of your freedom and creative power. Each sentence holds a specific code. I trust divine timing releases the need for fear or control, affirming that you are guided and that all unfolds in perfect timing for the highest good. I am a steady son of peace declares your identity as a source of light and calm, unshakable even in storms, much like the sun continues to shine steadily above the clouds. And only love has authority here is a firm command that establishes the rule of love in your field, dismissing any influence of the old slave program, fear-based thoughts, or external manipulations. By stating that only love governs your life, you revoke any consent you previously gave to false authorities or limiting narratives. Repeat this mantra quietly in meditation or aloud with conviction, as often as needed. Feel its energy as you speak or think it. You might visualize each affirmation as a wave of light, fortifying your aura and extending into the world around you. With each repetition, you literally weaken the hold of the old slavery programming within and around you, and you simultaneously strengthen the new earth grid of consciousness. You align yourself with the movement of divine will and the highest timelines. Over time, these words will become an unshakable knowing within you. In moments of challenge, they will arise from your subconscious to guide you back to center. In moments of grace, they will amplify your gratitude and purpose. Let this decree be your ally, Let it remind you of the truth whenever illusions tug at you. In trusting divine timing, shining as a sun of peace, and crowning love as the only authority, you claim your liberation and help anchor a reality founded in love for all. This is your mantra of emancipation and empowerment, offered to you as both sword and shield on the journey ahead. Use it, cherish it, and watch as its power unfolds in your life and beyond. Remember that you are never truly alone. We and many beings of light walk beside you, celebrating your courage and holding you in unconditional love. We thank you for your commitment to the path of freedom, and we assure you that every step you take in love is supported by the entire universe. Until next time, we embrace you in the light of unity and peace. That is all for now, my dear friends. I am Zørrion of Sirius, and it is my honor and delight to be with you today.